Can you hear me now? 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 I just test my sound and all that and just say that everything is good. Like, hold on. Test the audio. Testing. 1, 2, testing. Testing. 1, 2, testing. Shows that my audio is good. Okay, check it out. Sweet intoxication. My goodness. Now I'm just playing. And Ja Oya, I appreciate y'all tuning in. We can hear you. Born King 1984. I just know some shh, and I respect it. All right, listen, man. Without further ado, let's jump into this content. I can't help but continue to stress the importance of fathers. Let's not even reduce it or just keep it to black fathers, but all fathers. It's very important for fathers to be in a household. It's very important for fathers to step up and fulfill their paternal duties to their children. Let's get into this content, man. Yo, Brent Rising, comedian Dupree, what it be, baby? What's the thing in there, man? How you feel? Appreciate you for tapping in on your player partner, man. Let's get into this content, cuz. I don't know what part of the content she's at now, but this sister was just addressing a situation out here in Vegas. And this is Katie Talk 101, an amazing sister. If you haven't subscribed to her page or if you're not familiar with her content, please go check her out. Let's see. Internet don't fail me now.
Argument. I don't care if he don't. I just feel like it's some crimes, even if football team. So her boyfriend. Oh, so she has a boyfriend at the school, and that's how he ended up meeting her. Let's see, okay, it says Valley High School head football coach who is facing child porn and statutory sexual seduction charges has been accused of carrying on a sexual relationship with a student. Prosecutor said this on Wednesday. And his name is Antoine Washington. He's 45. He was arrested on Tuesday.
Antoine Washington, we on your ass. We on your ass, Antoine Washington, because you knew that intellectually you were more superior or you were more skilled than this young sister that you seduced and engaged in all manner of sexual activities with. This cat right here, man, this job turkey sucker mother, this dude then seduced this young sister, took her to one of his mistresses or one of his side pieces cribs and engaged in sexual performances with her. He urinated on her. And while he's doing all this freaky deaky, devilish, perverted R. Kelly SHIT, this brother even went as far as urinating on this young sister. And they say in the video, as he's urinating on it, you can tell that the little sister ain't comfortable, but she's kind of like afraid of or intimidated to speak up for herself. Like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Not only is you in violation for having sex with this young sister, now I will say this, right? In Las Vegas, the age of consent is 15 years old. No, excuse me, 16 years old. They saying this sister was younger than that. So you don't have no self-restraint. You don't have the ability and the refrain to keep from having sex with a person that's under the age of 16 and the age of consent in Las Vegas is 16 years old. You sick. You're perverted, homie. And whatever these peoples do to you in this judicial system, you deserve every second, every minute, every hour, every decade for this perverted SHIT that this dude did. They're coming at him with life. They want to give him life because he photographed her. And then at the school, he got pictures of other young women bent over. He taking pictures of their panties and they buttocks. This dude's a real creep, homie. In this report, they saying that this dude posed as a mentor, right? He was picking a young lady up and taking her here and there and having her to fillet him, while they're driving, going wherever they're going and whatnot. But this is the thing, homie. She could have had a father there. She could have had a solid father figure or a strong male in her life because ain't no 45 years old, let me slow it down. Ain't no 45-year-old man is about to be coming to my door, coming to my house, coming anywhere in my vicinity and picking up my motherfucking daughter. Are you crazy? I'm her father. Whatever my daughter needs, I'm going to provide. What can this dude give my daughter that I came to where I feel comfortable or the mother feel comfortable allowing my daughter to be in this dude's care and to be supervised by this man? No, that's cool. And that's why a lot of black men get a bad rap because of jokers like this, homie. This dude is working in a school. If I can't trust you to work at the school, homie, then this is crazy, homie. This is crazy. And this dude, man, he need his feet whipped. He need his feet whipped real good, homie. This is a baby. That's why it's of the utmost important for black men to step the fuck up and protect our women's femininity. I always have a problem with that word, so don't judge me. I know the homosexual dudes say words are hard. Words ain't that hard. Words are essential. But as black men, it is of the utmost importance for us to protect our women's femininity as well as our children innocence. If we can't do that, then we failing our women and our children, homie. Our women should be able to bask in their femininity. You got so many women that's inclined to being masculine, homie, to where now it creates an imbalance. Now it creates conflict in a relationship because she don't know how to bask in her femininity and be a woman. She want to be just as masculine as you, but to a degree, it's slightly our fault. These women got to be they got to be the provider for our kids. In most cases, they got to be the protector of our kids. They got to be the educator of our kids. They got to be everything to these babies, man, so they can really enjoy their femininity. And then they dealing with so many dudes that's dealing with low vibrational feminine energy, homie, to us like they bumping PU as wives in a relationship. Dudes overly emotional. Oh no, I don't think you should. And woman, like, get out there and be a motherfucking man, homeboy. That's the problem. Our women can't be women because they so stuck on being what they call the mother and the father. You can't be that. You cannot be that, my sister. But I understand you being the protector and the provider. This dude, Antoine Washington, bro, you all the way wrong, homie. And then you got to be one of the world's stupidest criminals. You're engaging in these illegal acts with this person and you record it. Like, come on, bro. You all the way wrong. But we're going to get up off this topic, man. I just wanted to address that because I always want to stress the importance of black fathers, just fathers, period, stepping up and getting in these households and protecting our babies, man. This is crazy. I knew a dude named O. And O used to go out with a mentor. The mentor used to take him golfing, shopping, all this, right? And this is a dude, right? It comes out that this mentor that was taking brother O on these taking him shopping, golfing, and being a mentor all the time, he was a homosexual and he was giving money to O. And cats used to wonder why O used to come back with so much money and whatnot. Because he was grooming him, and after once he felt comfortable in his grooming and he knew it was effective, he started paying. Keep your mouth shut. I know your mother's a single mother and she can't, get you those new Jordans or, keep you in Tommy Hilfiger, so on and so forth. So there you go. Our secret is our secret. And this is another thing that I want to stress the importance of, homie. It ain't always an adult that introduce kids to sexual perversion. Now, just take the cat like O, right? He goes and he get amongst a group of young males, and then he began to practice with those young kids, whether females or boys, he began to practice with them what he was practicing with his mentor. Now your kid is turned out because that spirit of perversion, that sexual perversion that came through to the rest of the kids in the community. Now those kids that's been exposed to that sexual perversion, they're going to go out amongst other kids and engage in those sexual practices and whatnot. And we wonder why these kids is promiscuous, and some mothers and fathers say, man, how did my daughter or how did my son become like this? And I kept them sheltered. Maybe you let them spend the night over Wooty Whoop house. Maybe you let Wooty Whoop come over your house to spend the night. The spirit of sexual perversion is real. But we're gonna get off this, man, and we're gonna jump over here and jump into the situation with this dude. All right, I'm back. Did I end it? Yeah, I ended it. We're gonna jump into the situation with Brother Luce Cannon. We ain't gonna spend too much time on it. It's just one of my player partners suggested that I do some content in regards to this. And, I want to just, honor my player partner and, get some content out about this situation with if y'all not following Dopest TV, man, please.
Let me show you why I stopped paying for all my other sample libraries. This.
Hold
on. Get in contact.
And Nina boy,
this young,
you did a pretty good job with the interview, man. But you was doing too much co-signing, homie.
Never.
Like,
I'm not
for
a
real,
cherry
bro.
pick.
They is like that. They gonna kill.
You was doing too much.
I was at this.
First of all, get your facts straight, bro. Hey, shout out to Grace Wisdom. Y'all go check out my girl Grace Wisdom. She been dropping that spoken word. Oh, I do see it up on the screen. Okay, we good. She been dropping that spoken word on her page, Grace Wisdom. Go check that out. That's my One Love family, man. The gang, we up in here. Hey, but back to this slow bus gang. So yesterday,
he called him slow bus gang.
This dude, Luce Cannon. Well, first of all, Nina boy did he was laughing at a lot of nonsense. I'm gonna just keep it a bean. Nina boy was, J.O., it sounds like he telling the truth. But I'm gonna let y'all watch and we gonna chime in. Then we gonna get to this phone call that everybody waited for to drop at 8 o'clock this morning. And you're gonna be heavily disappointed. Again, I'm gonna just say this, man, and I tried my best, but fuck Whack 100 and fuck Luce Cannon. And no, I'm not gonna say it to your face. I bet you won't say that to my face. No, nigga. I'm not like that. Well, nigga with intelligence, you're not like that. How about that? Okay, you're not like that, nigga. You're not like that. A nigga with intelligence. No, you're not like that. For real. You're a dumb, ignorant ass nigga, bro. For real. And y'all gonna see in this phone call I'm gonna play later that this shit is all a play. But y'all playing with a man that a lot of people, especially here in California, have respect for in J.O. Felony. And for you to try to discredit this man and tarnish his image in any kind of way, you's a clown, nigga. Straight up. You's a clown. And I know I got dudes I deal with that fuck with you, bro, but I don't really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit weird. At some point, you got to have principles and morals,
right,
regardless of what you're doing. He gonna say something. I got a picture. I'm going to show y'all the picture later, but we're going to get into this part of the content, man.
Nah, I do that shit. Yeah, I'll go hit Whack. Like tell that nigga, hey, man, pull up. But my thing is this, man. It's just hard to tell, cuz, but at the same time, man, none of this shit, nobody got concrete evidence, bro. Like, that nigga Luce got too many stories, cuz. He got a lot of stories, cuz, and he climbing to the top. Like, I like the antics because that nigga will crash out with anybody on the internet and do numbers. Now, if he wasn't still doing numbers, then nobody wouldn't pay attention. But the nigga Luce is doing numbers, cuz. I'm not a cherry picker, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Do I think his stories be a little bit far-fetched? Hell yeah.
You glazing. Nina boy, stop glazing this nigga's nuts.
I know a nigga just smacked me, nigga. I'm like, bah, 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 bah. Nigga, I'm finna give it to you. But no, cuz that's crazy. Nigga, J.O. Felony, bro. You just said the YouTube police finna come get you, cuz. I don't know, J.O., cuz. That's not sound like you bothered. He ruffled some feathers, cuz. Let's go.
And who's standing? I'ma sit you down, bitch. I'm like Tupac.
Hit that like
You
button,
know
y'all.
that I get it real.
And he tried to take that like I was talking about him. And I don't know this from a can of fucking paint. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he had my name in his mouth for that or whatever.
Hold on, we got Luce. Hold on, cuz.
The 60s looking
Hey,
for this.
hold on.
And
Hey, Luce, cuz.
Hey,
Let me say
listen.
something. Hold on, let me say this right quick, everybody. We got Luce Cannon in the building, man. Come to set the record straight. Hey, so it kind of sound real before you get into it because I can hear it in his voice. He kind of sound disturbed, but my nigga, you just said I'm the king of the ice, smack cut. It just sound far-fetched, bro. What really happened?
Listen,
Yeah, I feel like Nina Boy. Nah, what Nina Boy doing ain't cool, cuz. Like, that ain't cool. Of course, cuz gonna sound like he offended because it's a motherfucker playing with your name, playing with your gangsterism, and playing with your brand, homie. Shit, in a situation like that, I may be offended the nigga talking about he slapped me and did all this and did all that. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So just because he seemed bothered by it, that don't mean that is any validity to the shit that this dude Luce Cannon is saying. And you just admitted that you know Luce Cannon antics and the things he do and so on and so forth. Like, come on, man, that ain't cool. That ain't fly. Like, especially when we get on here, homie, and we play with each other gangsterism, and you know this cat's a gangster. You notice the type of dude that's gonna handle his candle, and you want to get on here and you want to play with this dude. Come on, homie, that ain't cool. And the way that this cat Nino Boy is indirectly supporting his SHIT, homie, it's buffoonery and it's a mockery of what we supposed to be doing as real black men in the community. Like, you feel what I'm saying? I want to play a little bit more of this buffoonery, man. I'm gonna get up off that because we got bigger eggs to crack other than this BS, cuz on crib. I expected more from Nino Boy on a Renadale.
listen, bro. I was at the studio, right? No, he was at the studio, and he was, telling the engineer like, "Man, I hate these young niggas. They be thinking they run the game and all this other stuff, right?"
Yeah.
So I come like an hour late. So my engineer was like, "Hey, yeah, he was popping it. He was talking big tough or whatever like that." I'm like, "This old ass nigga," right? So I go over there and I slap cut. Boom. Dead homies. You know
That's a
how
wrap, cuz.
like we talking about this is like 12 years ago, right?
Yeah.
You know how niggas had the cell phone pouch thing on their hip,
Yeah.
right? So I'm
Yeah.
thinking like cuz got a burner or something. I'm like, oh, I'm slipping. Dead homies, right?
Yeah.
So he pulled out the cell phone. He called Big U useless, right? Cuz called him. And then he was like, "Hey, your nephew tripping or whatever like that." Big U was like, "Just leave cuz alone or whatever like that." I'm like, "Nigga, I'm the king of LA, bitch ass."
Yeah, I had to get that dude's a clown, cuz. And his clownish antics is gonna fuck around and get him or somebody that's close to him, somebody that love him hurt, homie. Like, it ain't that serious. Clout chasing is real, homie. It's like a drug. I did a video about that. Some of these dudes, it's all good. Let's get into some content from a dude who page I subscribe to, I follow, and who mine and perspective I respect. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Shout out to Katie Talks 101. Shout out to the Dopest TV, and shout out to my Beninoid Red Supreme, man. Let's get into this content.
Well, we got to be real. We can't sugarcoat it. Southsiders in California do have anti-black politics, right?
Most definitely.
That's a fact. Lefty Gunplay did a video saying that the Mexican community
It's racist.
would be upset if their daughters came home with a black man due to their anti-black politics.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
exactly what Lefty said.
Exactly.
Now, I didn't have to hear Lefty. I didn't need Lefty to say that to know that that was true. being born and raised in Los Angeles, I know it's true because
No,
I
it
didn't grew up around it. I've seen it. I witnessed it. My older brother, I'll get into that later. I ain't even gonna dive into that right now. I'll get into that later. True Savior. Shout out to my man, True Savior. Got a dope channel over there. Let's see what True Savior. How can we allow Mexicans on our tracks when they said hip hop doesn't come from Black American? What's up, Red? Hey man, I feel you on that. Now let's get into the root of hip hop. Let's get into the root of music and American culture. Now, do you guys know this? Rock and roll,
Black,
jazz,
black,
the blues,
black,
gospel,
black,
R&B,
black,
funk music,
black,
house music.
black.
All of that was created by Black Americans.
That's what I'm saying.
And we got to be honest. People got to learn to pay homage. Now, let's get into this before we dive into this lefty gunplay thing. Let's talk about Latinos and hip hop. Black people created all these music genres in America.
Facts.
Are people so dumb that they can't understand that? And let me say this.
Hold on.
Do you really think Black Americans needed Latinos to help them to create hip hop? When we
This is what I want to just interject and say. Carlos Santana. I know some of y'all say my audio is low. Carlos Santana has went public and admitted that mariachi music and all other Spanish music, what we call Spanish music, Latin American music, all of it is a derivative of Africa. Carlos Santana is a prominent Latin American musician. And he's saying that it all either comes from Africa or it was started by Black people. I was reading some comments that some people had left on a video where they were saying, oh, why are the N-words trying to steal our music? And things like, why is Kendrick Lamar trying to come and take our music? Is it because we want to be more marketable to Latin America and our culture? Why don't they stick with hip hop? Why don't they stick to rap? This is what they saying. So the Latino community is slightly split because some of them is liking what Kendrick Lamar did by putting on Lefty Gunplay, but you got those who don't listen to hip hop. They're taking umbrage with Kendrick Lamar featuring this mariachi singer on several of his songs. They feel like it's degrading the quality of their music, but it's not their music, it's our music. The shit is inspired, it's a derivative of African sounds. It was either a derivative of African sounds or what we created when we were in Central America. And when I say Central America, I want to include Mexico. So Mexico, when we had heavy presence throughout Mexico and Central America, these are remnants of the things that we left behind. So when you say it's our music, no, it's actually our music. You cannot name a music here in the New World or in the Americas that was solely created by whatever people they say was here before we were here, but we was already here. And that's a whole nother topic, but let's get back into the content, man.
We done created all these other music genres, country music, rock and roll,
Facts.
blues, jazz,
Facts.
Motown.
Facts.
So we created all this music, but for some reason we needed Latinos to help us create hip hop. Doesn't make sense. 2 + 2 ain't 40, homie. 2 + 2 = 4. It's not 40.
Right.
Now let me tell you like this, homie. When you go back to the original days of hip hop came from samples of music that we created prior to hip hop.
Righteous.
That's why when you listen to hip hop, it had a lot of James Brown in it, had a lot of Al Green in it,
Right.
had a lot of funk music in it. So hip hop was created from samples. They sampled the music that we created prior to hip hop. And if you want to talk about dancing and breakdancing, you can go back to the 1930s and 40s. Black people was already doing breakdance moves prior to our contact with any Latinos. So for Latinos to try to sit up here and say that they helped us to create hip hop is one of the biggest jokes that I ever heard. One of the biggest lies ever told. And I know a lot of people gonna get offended, but I got to say it anyway. I got to say it to set the record straight.
Right.
Listen, Look at hip hop today. None of the influence of hip hop comes from Latinos.
None at all.
The way people talk in hip hop comes from Black Americans. The way that people dress in hip hop comes from Black Americans. The style of rap that people do in hip hop comes from Black Americans. Nothing about hip hop was influenced by no Latinos, man. And if they can't pay homage to that, then there's no way that I could work with them. I'm not speaking from my feelings. I'm giving you the raw. I'm giving you reality in its raw. I'm giving you reality in its rawest form. Let me just say that. Foundational Black Americans, listen. Let me say this to you guys. We was already breakdancing, rapping, and rhyming over beats, rhyming when we talked way back in the 30s, and prior to that, we was doing it.
Right.
So hip hop ain't got nothing to do with no Latinos, period. Latinos embrace hip hop once they moved around Black folks.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. And if they can't pay homage to that, they're disrespecting our culture. There's no reason to work with them. The first thing you need to do, if you want to participate in somebody's culture, you need to pay homage 100%. And if you can't do that, there's no reason to fuck with you at all.
Right.
I don't give a damn what race you are. You can be African, Mexican, or European, whatever you.
I'm gonna stop the brother right there. I'm gonna read some of these comments. And a lot of these comments may hurt some people feeling, but let's get into it. One dude said Kendrick Lamar was off cold when he did that. Was Kendrick Lamar off cold? Katie, what's the deal? I just featured one of your video of today in the beginning of the segment. Hey, y'all check out my girl, Katie Talk 101, man. Amazing content, beautiful sister, man. Her perspective is amazing. Like, you know what I mean? So y'all check out Katie Talk. But look, listen, check this out. Was Kendrick Lamar off cold when Cuz put Lefty Gunplay on that song? On PJ Watt's script on Steve-O? In my personal opinion, I feel like he was. Because here you have an Hispanic individual saying, I would be offended if my daughter came home dating a Black guy. And then he goes further to explain and elucidate that the political structure, the politics of the Sureños makes individuals racist. So he admitted that he's a racist by way of the politics that he subscribed to. And Kendrick Lamar, take this cat, that's the self-admitted racist that don't like blacks, who value in people and organization has unalived young Black children, then targeted Black women, then hurt our people without any provocation from us. And you put him on a track, and you highlight and broadcast into the world, hell yeah, that's off cold, cuz. And we wonder why all these cats in different states is now, they're no longer looking at cats in LA with admiration. They're no longer looking at cats from Southern California, Los Angeles, Watts, Compton, South Central, and all that with admiration and honor. They looking at us like, what the fuck? And I had a moment like that. Look, check me out, right? My uncle used to tell me these stories about how they used to encounter the enemigos, the hood that we had beef with. And he was like, yeah, I seen this dude, and I gave him a pass, and I gave this dude a pass, and I did this. And I'm like, hold on, cuz, like, what you mean you gave these niggas a pass? Like, because when me and my partners was gangbanging, when it was up, and it ain't no passes, cuz. So what is we doing it for? What are we doing it for? At the height of this beef, y'all was giving certain cats passes and all that, and they the ones who drew blood first. It made me look at certain cats differently. We learned this destructive behavioral pattern and lifestyle from y'all, and then when we found out that y'all ain't even doing it the way that y'all taught us to do it, that's offensive, homie. So I see why all these cats out of states, in other states, is talking about cats in LA, homie, because we making ourselves look real foolish to the world. We don't want to introduce gangsterism to the world. The white people commercialized it, but we introduced them to the world. We introduced them to the world. Gangbanging, crippling, and blood, and this subculture and whatnot. Now we're not even living by the code that we introduced them to. I see why they scratching their head, homie. They looking at us, unalive each other and victimize one another. But when it comes to giving these Hispanics the energy that they give us, we hesitate. No, that's crazy, homie. So this dude, Fire Bag 984, I feel what he's saying, homie. The shit that Kendrick Lamar did by putting Lefty Gunplay on there, a self-admitted racist, that shit is off code, cuz. It make us look bogus as fuck. It make us look bunk. It make us look bad, cuz. A dude said, I agree, we shouldn't do features with non-black FBAs, non-foundational black Americans. Late Nights with Tiffany said, it's crazy how people are so okay with them coming over here illegally. On Time and said, I'm Jamaican and I've been called the N-word by a Mexican. Black people don't need to try to fix the hate. The hate is one-sided. We've been minding our own business. This is the truth. I just did a video, yesterday or last night, explaining to y'all, we're not the one who created this inter-minority war. We're not the one that created distinction in between the black and brown communities. We didn't create this shit. They created it. They began to attack us. They began to beat and unalive our women and our children and us in general. This is something that we created. This is what they created. And it's crazy because, homie, we don't see the significance in us unifying and standing up to any and everybody that oppose us. They see that we ain't gonna unify. When we go into the county jail, homie, you see the Canadians, they're beef on the streets, they leave it in the police car. As soon as you hit that county, you're a unified body. But when we go into the county jail, we still thrashing and bashing and crashing one another. It makes no sense. And they look at us like, these vacos is fucking lames, dog. These vacos are stupid. You see blacks get into a minor disagreement with one another, and it's, let's go to the back wall. I'm about to whoop him out of his shoes. But when these Hispanics say and do certain shit, cuz it's like, oh man, let's have mediation. Let's mitigate the circumstances. Like, no, fuck that. Let's give them the same energy they give us, cuz. And once we start continuously giving them the same energy that they give us, then the perspective of us would change. They'll see that we ain't playing, homie. But let's get back to a few more of these comments and back into the content. And I'm gonna jump up off this kind of thing. On some real shit, whoever claims an alliance to a game with anti-black politics should not be embraced in hip-hop. I'm gonna read that again, and that's coming from Country Boy 214. On some real shit, whoever claims an alliance to a game with anti-black politics should not be embraced by hip-hop. Like, what the fuck is we doing? We forget all the transgressions that they have committed against us. We forget about the little sister that they unalive. What they seen a black spot in a black family just start dumping out the truck. We forget about the black families down there in the East LA projects that they firebombed the individuals that was walking down the street that they didn't hit over the head and unalive. We forget about all that, right? We forget how discourteous they used to our grandmothers and grandfathers. We forget about that. When we give they people, when they move into our community, the utmost respect. We don't disrespect their elders. We embrace their elders with the same love and respect that we embrace our elders with. But when we move into their communities and their barrios, homie, it's always some BS 75% of the time, depending on what barrio you move into. They got anti-black politics. A lot of these barrios are predominantly Mexican communities. They don't want you over there. They don't want you there. But we always fighting to try to go be a part of individuals who don't want us to be a part of whatever they got going on. Same shit with Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement. These individuals that created restaurants for their people to enjoy. And we say, you know what? I still would like one of them undercooked, unseasoned hamburgers from that European American spot. They food don't even taste like our food. It's not a luxury going to their establishments. But Martin Luther King, they just had to go sit down and hold hands with the European Caucasians, even though they're saying, this is my shit. We don't want y'all over here. So we're going to spit in y'all food. We're going to bust y'all over the head. And we're going to treat y'all like y'all rabbit beef because we don't want y'all here. We don't want to be a part of y'all. But we always fight to be a part of some motherfuckers that don't want to be a part of us, don't want to, they fuck with us, homie. So that's why it's ironic that y'all don't want to fuck with us, but y'all want to steal our culture and our subculture, and now y'all want to infiltrate hip-hop and try to take hip-hop for y'all. If you don't like something, you don't indulge, participate, or fuck with it. Things that I don't like, I don't indulge, participate, or fuck with. So that should show you the value that we have as a people. Those who are envious of us, those who are jealous of us, those who hate us, they gravitate to our culture and they want to emulate, imitate, replicate. Black men and black women, you are the most valuable thing on the face of this earth when you are unified and together. Together we're unstoppable. Divided we're nothing. Kendrick looking like he's suckling up to the Mexican community. That's T Dilla 3818. Fire 2107 said the revolution will not be televised applies to this situation. A person like Kendrick doesn't fully represent the interests of black society. At the end of the day, these celebrities have their own plans. They may use the voice of the black grassroots, they may use the voice of the black grassroots society, but it's their own will and for their own purposes. Timothy Taylor, 9835, say once them guys do a Ryan Garcia or Teofimo Lopez talking racist crap, then Kendrick going to have to diss them as hard as he did Drake, which may lead into street politics. Yeah. If Lefty Gunplay or any one of these other Hispanics that he featured on his album come out and say some more inflammatory racist shit, you got to give them the same energy that you gave Drake. You can't be selective with your politicking, homie. And you went so hard on basically just effing Drake over. If Lefty Gunplay get off and do some racist SHIT or come out with some more racial BS, then you got to give him the same energy that you gave your brother. I don't give a fuck if he was from Canada, if he was from Europe, Africa. I don't care, homie. We got to stop engaging in these practices to where we go hard on one another and go soft on others. That's crazy. It's asinine. It's preposterous. Skillet 6870 say Kendrick Lamar caved in and embarrassingly Kendrick Lamar caved in an embarrassingly major way. Kendrick, I'm ashamed of you. FBA/259 said from the outside looking in, what I see that's happening in Los Angeles is blacks doing all of the work when it comes to black and brown relationships. It seems blacks always are hit with that task to show the Mexican community how much they have respect for them and are willing to bridge the gap, while the Mexican community are more so in the mindset of blacks owe them this, and therefore they don't have to do anything but sit back and do what they normally do. Think how they normally think. I think they're playing on you guys' kindness while still not fully respecting you. I agree. How could you be in disagreement with that? We ain't started this racial tension between the black and brown community, but we're the ones who goes the hardest to say, I'm not racist. I love Mexicans. And they sit back like, well, if you love us, then do this and act like this and say it like this. Say it with a little bit less of your chest. That's how they treat us. And anyone start jumping through hoops and jumping over hurdles to show I'm not racist. You ain't racist, but you don't mind engaging in fratricidal relationships with your brothers. You don't mind the self-inflicted genocide that we have put on one another. I'm gonna be quiet before I say some shit, man. Torino 3160 said, let's see if LA Familia returns to the love. Let's see what's the excuse they're going to come up with next to justify disrespecting foundational black Americans. I don't know nothing about that, Kim, folks. Danny Devon says, I have thrown in the towel. Us West Coast blacks are lost and damn near goofy. I just seen black dudes doing a song featuring Lefty Gunplay, and a few other Southsiders, and Kendrick Lamar Man, this shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. With that being said, I'm gonna leave with this. Like Marcus Garvey say, up you mighty race and be who you are destined to be. It's time for us to change this narrative. It's time for us to unify and resurrect our communities. It's time for us to get into a position of masculinity, sacred masculinity, to our women can bask in their femininity, to our women can kick their feet up and be dolled and taken care of and pampered and understood and properly communicated to, so that they can better be in a position to provide emotional nourishment to our children. It's time for us to change the narrative. It's time for us to stop unaliving one another. It's time for us to come back to the table and renegotiate the terms of peace amongst us. We don't got to all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. We don't got to do that. But what we're going to do is hold each other accountable and respect one another. What we're not going to do is continue to unalive one another. What we're not going to do is continue to beat on, damage, and disrespect our women and allow others to do it. What we're going to do is set a precedence that everybody can sit back and look at and say, man, these blacks is moving on code now. They're moving as one. They're vibrating at a higher frequency. If we was to unify them all, the dynamics of the United States of America would change within two days. I promise you that. All we got to do is unify. You can still be a Crip Blood, Vice Lord, Gangster Disciple. But when we in a pen and we Crip Blood, Vice Lord, Gangster Disciple, we respect one another in there. We unify in there. We communicate in there. Why can't we have those same practices out here on the streets to show these children a better way? Why is it that our rites of passage is us going into prison? Why don't we have a rites of passage of complete high school, graduation from college, starting a successful business that we all support and spend our money at? That could be our rites of passage. Not young cats in the street saying, man, I can't wait to hit the pen, cuz. And I know it's true. You want me to tell you how I know it was true? Because I was one of those young Crips, cuz they couldn't wait to go to prison so I can get my veneration, so I can get my acknowledgement, so I can get my stamp of approval. But that's an asinine way of thinking, cuz. Me gangbanging in the streets, cuz, and being a certified, whatever they call it nowadays, cuz. All that shit got me was an extensive prison record, cuz, and make it extremely difficult for me to get certain job opportunities. That's it, cuz. That's all I got from the streets. PTSD. It's hard for me to trust. It's hard for me to sleep. I'm distrustful of damn near everybody. I'm mentally fucked up. I was a borderline sociopath. That's what I got from the streets, cuz. Nothing positive. I ain't getting nothing positive from the streets, cuz, on PJY script. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you because I fuck with you. So if we know nothing come from the streets and that way of life, cuz, and that way of living, then why do we allow generations of ours to continue down that destructive path? It's asinine, cuz. But with that, man, I'm going to get up off this thing and y'all step and be blessed, man. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so now. Help me play upon the standard algorithm. Help me build my channel up. Because right now, there's a lot of dudes who oppose me, right? And the main thing that they try to use against me, oh, he only got 3,000 subscribers. So my people, my community, do your part for your player partner, for your brethren, and help me get my numbers up and help me stand this algorithm, man, so we can put a narrative out there that dispels and refutes the narrative that these brothers is putting out there, that black on black violence is cool. Crips killing Crips is cool. Crips killing Bloods is cool. Bloods killing Crips is cool. Crips and Pyrus killing one another is cool. That shit is not cool, homie. And we wonder why we look at our communities now in Southern California, why it's predominantly Hispanic, because all our people, they moved away. All our people, they moved away because of the genocide that we created on ourselves. Grandmamas got tired. Aunties got tired. Mothers got tired of crime. Ducking, dodging shots. Wondering if they going to go outside and be the next casualty of a ignorant gang war. We gotta stop this shit, cuz. Everybody talking about cuz I'm from this and cuz I'm from that. Listen, homie, I am from Eastside, PJ Watts Crib, Imperial Court Housing Projects. That means that it's owned by the government. If the government decide to demolish Imperial Court housing projects tomorrow, my hood gone, neighborhood gone. We don't have no stake in Imperial Courts housing projects, and this is not a shot at my homies. This is not a shot at Imperial Courts, but it ain't just Imperial Courts. The niggas in Gordon housing projects, the Jordan Down housing projects, they just remodeled those. They tore the original Jordan Downs down, and now they rebuilding it to be something else. We don't have no control, no say so in how they do this and how they do that. And it goes with some of our hoods. Some of our hoods are 70% Mexican, Hispanic, Latino. You don't really got no say so in the affairs of that community if you don't own shit over there. So that's why we have to practice and participate in group economics, cuz. But it may be just time to leave Watts, Compton, South Central, Long Beach. And man, listen, there's other places out there, man, they selling land for pennies on a dollar. Let's go create our own. Let's start over. Let's have the conversation on how we're going to treat, respect, love, and interact with one another. Let's establish that early on so we can live in harmony. Y'all step and be blessed, man. I'd rather you live in peace and rest in peace. It's your Playa, and I'm gone.